There are mistakes hiding inside Canadian retirement paperwork that can quietly cost you tens of thousands of dollars, and you have probably never heard of a single one of them. Not the obvious stuff, not save more or downsize your house. The real ones, the ones buried in provincial health forms, condo status certificates, and one line on your tax return that almost nobody reads until it's too late. Somewhere in Canada, right now in 2026, a retiree is opening a letter from Service Canada and discovering their pension just got smaller. Somewhere else, a couple is signing closing papers on a perfect retirement condo without knowing the one number that actually matters. And somewhere else, a family is settling in a state and finding out that Canada has no inheritance tax was only half true. Today, we're counting down 7 of these mistakes, real numbers, real provinces, real rules for 2026. And by the end, I'm going to show you the one mistake on this list that, left unchecked, can cost a retiree upwards of $15,000 and exactly how to make sure it never happens to you. Let's get into it. Retiring in Canada looks simple from the outside. Universal health care, no official inheritance tax, beautiful small towns, a pension system that sends you checks for the rest of your life. It sounds like the system is designed to protect you. And mostly it is. But the system is also provincial, fragmented, and full of small print. And small print is exactly where expensive mistakes live. Every single one of these 7 has actually happened to real retirees in the last couple of years. Let's start the countdown. Mistake number 7, buying a lock-and-leave condo without checking one document. Mistake number 7, buying a retirement condo based on the monthly fee instead of the one document that actually predicts your future costs. Here's the trap. A condo advertises a low monthly fee. It looks affordable. It looks perfect for someone who wants to travel half the year and not worry about a lawn. But that monthly fee tells you almost nothing about what's coming. What actually matters is a document called the Reserve Fund Study. And inside Ontario alone, a 2024 government survey found that roughly 1 in 20 condo corporations were contributing below the recommended levels into that fund. In British Columbia, a provincial study found that 54% of condo buildings had underfunded reserves. When a roof, an elevator, or a parking garage finally needs replacing and the reserve fund is short, the building doesn't absorb the cost quietly. It issues what's called a special assessment, a one-time bill sent directly to every owner that can run from a few $1,000s into 6 figures depending on the building. Retirees on fixed incomes are the ones who get hit hardest by this, because a surprise $20,000 or $30,000 bill isn't something you can just work an extra shift to cover anymore. Before buying, ask for the Reserve Fund Study, not just the fee sheet, and ask what percentage of full funding the reserve is actually sitting at. Mistake number 6, falling for the new build fee trap. Mistake number 6, and this one connects directly to the last one, trusting a brand new building's first-year condo fee. New condo buyers are routinely blindsided by fee increases in years 3 through 5 because that low starting fee is often subsidized by the developer to make the building look attractive to buyers. Once that subsidy expires, real operating costs kick in, and annual increases of 5 to 10% aren't unusual as the building ages.
Mistake number 5, assuming healthcare coverage follows you automatically. Mistake number 5, assuming your provincial health coverage moves with you the moment you cross a border. Here's what almost nobody tells you. Most provinces have a mandatory waiting period, usually 3 months, before a new health card actually activates. That alone catches people off guard. But here's the part that's genuinely obscure. If you move from a province with a 3-month wait to another province with a 3-month wait, say Ontario to British Columbia, the second province starts its own 3-month clock from your move-in date. Time it badly, and you can end up with a full 6-month gap in coverage, not 3. Meanwhile, Alberta is the outlier. New residents there are eligible for coverage the moment they establish residency. No waiting period at all, which is a real, quantifiable reason some retirees factor Alberta into where they choose to land. And it gets more specific than that. In Ontario, if you're out of the province for more than 212 days in any 12-month period, which is very easy to do if you're a snowbird spending winters somewhere warm, you actually lose your OHIP coverage entirely, and you're back to a fresh 3-month wait when you return. Most retirees planning long winters south of the border have never checked that number against their own travel plans. Okay, quick pause, because this is exactly the kind of thing that's impossible to keep track of on your own. Every province has different rules, different waiting periods, different tax thresholds, and they all change slightly every year. That's exactly why I put together the Quick Win Playbook, a straightforward digital guide that walks you through the best places to retire in Canada for affordability, safety, and healthcare access, and flags the exact mistakes, including the one coming up later in this video that can cost a retiree upwards of $15,000, so you don't have to learn any of this the hard way. It's $47, it's linked below, and it's built specifically so you can find the right place to land without the guesswork. All right, back to the countdown. Mistake number 4, misjudging what actually counts as income for OAS. Mistake number 4, assuming your old age security is safe because your spending feels modest. In 2026, once your net income crosses roughly $95,000, the government starts clawing back 15 cents of every OAS dollar for every dollar you earn above that line. That part a lot of people have heard. Here's the part almost nobody has. Eligible Canadian dividends are grossed up by 38% for tax purposes. That means $20,000 of dividend income from a safe, conservative portfolio actually counts for roughly $27,600 towards your clawback threshold. Money you never even see in cash, quietly pushing you closer to losing benefits you assumed were untouchable. And there's a timing trap layered on top of that. The clawback applied to your OAS check starting this July is based on last year's income, not this year's. So a retiree who had one high income year, selling a property, a large RRSP withdrawal, can see reduced OAS checks for a full 12 months afterwards, even if their actual current income has already dropped back down. There is a form, ISP 5220, that lets you apply to waive that automatic reduction if your income has genuinely fallen, and almost no one files it, simply because almost no one knows it exists. Mistake number 3, and this one surprises almost everyone, believing no inheritance tax means your estate passes on tax-free. It's technically true, there's no line-item inheritance tax in Canada, but there's something called deemed disposition, and it does almost the same job under a different name. The moment you pass away, the government treats you as having sold everything you own at fair market value, even if nothing was actually sold. A cottage bought decades ago for $200,000 that's now worth $700,000 triggers capital gains tax on that full $500,000 gain, payable by your estate before your family sees a dollar. If you or your family has ever been surprised by something like this during an estate settlement, drop it in the comments. I read every single one, and it genuinely shapes what I research for the next video. Mistake number 2. Not realizing your province sets your estate's final bill. This is one of the most concrete numbers in this entire video. On a $2 million estate, probate fees are $0 in Manitoba, roughly $525 in Alberta, flat no matter the size, and approximately $33,255 in Nova Scotia. Same estate, same family, same assets, a $33,000 difference purely based on a mailing address. Now, Alberta's flat fee sounds like the obvious winner, but here's the nuance almost no one mentions. That $525 cap only matters if your estate is large. On a smaller, more typical estate,
The gap between provinces is far less dramatic than the headlines make it sound. The lesson isn't move to Alberta, it's know what your specific province charges and name beneficiaries directly on your RRSPs, RRIFs, and life insurance, because assets with a named beneficiary skip probate entirely in every single province. And that brings us to mistake number 1, the one I promised you at the start of this video, the one that on its own can cost a retiree $15,000 or more. It's this: buying property, especially a condo, purely based on lifestyle appeal, without stacking together everything we've talked about today. The underfunded reserve fund, the new build fee trap, the province-specific probate exposure, the deemed disposition tax bill waiting at the end. Individually, each is a line item. Combined, in the wrong building, in the wrong province, without a plan, they compound into a 5-figure mistake that shows up in pieces over years until a family adds it all up and realizes what it actually cost them. This is exactly why I built the guide the way I did, not as one tip, but as a complete before you buy, before you move checklist. So, if you're seriously thinking about where to retire in Canada, I genuinely recommend grabbing the Quick Win Playbook before you make any decisions. It's a straightforward, no-fluff guide to the best places to retire in Canada for affordability, safety, and healthcare access in 2026, and it walks you through exactly how to avoid the mistakes in this video, including this last one, the one that can cost $15,000 if it catches you off guard. It's $47, it's linked below, and it could save you far more than that in the first year alone. So let's recap the countdown real quick. The reserve fund nobody checks, the new build fee trap, the healthcare gap that doubles instead of ending, the OAS clawback hiding in your dividends, the no inheritance tax myth, the province that quietly sets your estate's final bill, and the combination of it all that adds up to a real $15,000 mistake. None of this is designed to scare you out of retiring well in Canada. It's designed to make sure you go in with your eyes open, instead of finding these things out the way most people do, after the letter arrives, after the assessment is levied, after the estate is already being settled. If this video helped, hit subscribe so you don't miss the next one, and share it with anyone you know who's planning their retirement in the next few years. This is exactly the kind of video that saves someone real money if it reaches them in time. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.